You are listening to the Primitive Intelligence Podcast, episode 406, Murderous Deadly Death from Above, the Chemtrail Conspiracy. You may notice by the titles I've been putting in the past couple of weeks that I've been binge watching an older TV show that I absolutely love. The show Psych, and I love the titles to their shows. You've got things like Disco Didn't Die, It Was Murdered, or Meat is Murder, but Murder is also Murder. Love that show. It's great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Kind of crappy for me. I just recorded for 45 minutes, went to edit the entire podcast, and no audio recorded. It's just blank air. That sucked. So we're going to go through this again. Before I get into the podcast, I'm going to continue my web hosting saga because it's just been a disaster. This episode is going up a couple days late. I've been trying to release them on Wednesdays, but I haven't been able to get into anything on my website. I can do some basic WordPress editing, but I don't want to do the entire episode that way because it just puts the audio in a weird place I don't want it to be. So I haven't been able to get in. So I've been dealing with that. Talked to him yesterday. Spent 4 hours on a chat with support. And they basically told me, it started to transfer 2 weeks ago and then it failed. And we didn't double check on it. And then they tried to blame me for not contacting them sooner, even though I can't get through to them on the phone. I can't get through to them on their chat, and there's no email address to get them on. So, that's my fault. Then I wake up this morning after escalating this a few times. I wake up this morning and it's been migrated to the new server, which is great. But they try and make it out like the server they're using is using some brand new technology called cPanel. Like, now we're using this new thing called cPanel. cPanel's been around for 25 years. I mean, it's been updated. They're using an updated version of it, but it's nothing new. So chances are I'll be moving to a new host at some point in the near future, and hopefully it doesn't break anything because I can't keep dealing with this. I've been with this company for too long to be that. I'm just kind of over it. So yeah, that's been fun. So apologize for the late podcast, but we'll get it up. If you're watching the video, you're gonna notice a couple things. I'm all washed out because I got a window open here because I have a camera set up. You can see it right here if you're watching the video. Looking out the window, it's my chemtrail camera, I guess, chemtrail cam. In the 45 minutes I recorded last time, I didn't see a single contrail or chemtrail go by, and we'll see what comes through. I am recording in the middle of the day. I usually record later at night, so it eliminates some of the noise coming in. So you may hear some noise from the outside. There's people walking around. I'm right in town, so I apologize for any of that. But we'll go ahead and get into Murderous Deadly Death from Above, the Chemtrail Conspiracy, episode 406 of the Primitive Intelligence Podcast starts now. Chemtrails. If you haven't heard of chemtrails, we'll go over real quick what the conspiracy says. So Chemtrail Conspiracy says that the government or some other agency, and very important, very powerful people, are using this cocktail of toxic chemicals in airplanes to poison the atmosphere, poison us below, us mere mortals below, for things like your standard conspiracy theory reasons, mind control, population control, maybe geoengineering. We'll talk about that one first, but geoengineering, all your main culprits. And that what they are the things that you see behind jets as they fly over at high altitude, the white wispy streaks behind them, otherwise known as, officially known as contrails. So contrails are condensation trails that are caused when hot, humid exhaust is expelled into a cooler, denser atmosphere. And depending on the atmospheric conditions, including temperature and humidity, they can create a contrail. Now, a chemtrail is a chemical trail, shortened to chemtrail. This is no, that's not what it is. It's actually a plume of chemicals that's being spewed into the air. So we're going to look at both of those. First, I'm gonna talk about contrails, what they are, which I basically just did. So a contrail is just that. You got a very hot, very humid exhaust coming out of a combustion engine, whether it's a jet or a rocket or a missile. And as that hot, humid air hits the cooler air out in the atmosphere, you got to figure these planes are flying 30 to 40,000 feet. The atmospheric conditions are different up there. And it will rapidly condense, causing ice crystals to form on any dust or dirt. And now I'm not saying that the stuff coming out of exhaust is great stuff. It's exhaust. But those particles that are in the exhaust and already in the air, the ice forms around them, creates an ice crystal. You get enough of that together, it becomes a cloud. So jets are basically making clouds. We might be hearing some noise here because it looks like a, I don't know, sky packet. Don't know what that is. Looks like it's maybe a satellite company just pulled up next door. The contrails can either not even be seen, depending on the atmospheric conditions. They could dissipate quickly, or if the conditions are right, it can last for hours because they are clouds. They're not just going to vanish. They're clouds. So if you've ever watched clouds form, and I've got a few going by out there right now, but they'll start out small, and as the conditions change, they will grow, or they could be large, and as the conditions change, they will shrink. Same thing with a contrail. So we're going to look at a couple of websites here about the chemtrails. Let's see. The first one is a website called The World, theworldlink.com, and basically states that chemtrails are poisoning us. This looks like it's based out of Oregon, and states that our children, our water, and our food are being targeted by ongoing geoengineering programs. It goes on to say that geoengineering programs are nothing new. Government patents are on record for anyone to see. This is true. Geoengineering is something that is being looked into as a way to eliminate, or not eliminate, but maybe try to counterbalance global warming by reflecting more sunlight out into space than is coming in. But it's not in any shape or form, as far as I know, off the ground yet. No pun intended. It also says that the lines that you see in the sky are not contrails. You can watch the flight patterns and know that it would not be logical for a plane to fly like that, which I've never seen one zigzagging around. It's always been straight. After the fact, and the wind shear or wind currents or whatever move them around a little bit, sure, you might see them look weird, but it's not the way the plane is flying. And then just pretty much goes on to try to scare the crap out of people, which is a lot of what I see on these. I'll put links to these pages down below. The next one I saw was a European Union document, European Parliament, which says, this is from March of 2012, and this is where I immediately start to lose faith in this conspiracy. According to an Italian blogger from 1996 until now, there has been an increase in chemical trails, also known as chemtrails. Right? It goes on to say that there is proof, but it doesn't state what that proof is, where it can be found, where it can be researched, or who did the sorry, I almost sneezed, or who did the research. It gives information about what's in the chemtrails. Following elements in the chemtrails: barium, aluminum, radioactive thorium, cesium, copper, titanium, silicone, lithium, cobalt, lead, ethylene dibromide, and several pathogenic agents. My immediate question to that, because there's no evidence of how this was collected, no proof, nothing about who is going 30 to 40,000 feet up in the air and scooping up contrails to see what's in them. Who is doing this? That needs to be stated. It also says that they can cause a condition called Morgellons syndrome, a disease which causes serious deterioration of the body. But there's no links, there's no reference, there's no information, there's no names, there's no scientific communities, there's no colleges, universities, anybody who's studying this, nowhere to go and find this. So why should I believe any of that? The next one I found was chemtrail. What is this called? California Chemtrail Resistance. StopSprayingCalifornia.com. And this basically talks about arsenic. Arsenic And chemtrails gives you all the bad things that arsenic can do, which we know arsenic is bad. Things like blurred vision, chills, constipation, cough, darkening of the skin, diarrhea, dizziness, drowsiness, all that. All right, it goes, and that's about arsenic in medications and things like that, which we know arsenic is bad. You shouldn't be consuming arsenic. Not in any meaningful amount. There may be some in the air naturally, but it's not something you should be using as a medicine. It then goes on to talk about short-term effects of chemtrails. This is where it starts getting interesting. It can cause allergies, anxiety, asthma, brain fog, breathing difficulties, chronic sore or raspy throat, dizziness, eye and skin irritations, flatulence, flu-like symptoms, headaches, itching, nausea and vomiting, nosebleeds, panic attacks, persistent coughing, respiratory problems, stomach aches, suicidal thoughts, tinnitus, and many other symptoms. That's short-term. Long-term, acid reflux, ADHD, allergies, Alzheimer's, aluminum buildup in the pineal gland, asthma, autism, autoimmune disease, blood in the urine, borderline personality disorders, cancer, chronic fatigue, constipation, depression, easy bruising, eye problems, fibromyalgia, floaters in the eyes, gastritis, heart arrhythmia, heart disease, high cholesterol, hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, irritable bowel syndrome, insomnia, learning disabilities, lung disease, lupus, multiple sclerosis, oily skin, Parkinson's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, schizophrenia, short-term memory loss, sleep disorders, spider veins, tinnitus, white coating on the tongue, and many other symptoms. I mean, how do you know? Where's the proof? There's no links here that link any of these to contrails, what they call chemtrails. Nothing. There's no links here. There's no evidence. There's no reference. There's no bibliography on it. There's nothing. Just conjecture. This is a fear-mongering website. They're trying to scare the crap out of people. They show some neat pictures up top, like Are We the Experiment, and the thing that says arsenic on it. They show some contrails. One is, I think they're supposed to be in the same picture. I'm not sure. One is a puffier looking, longer streak in the sky. They're saying that's a chemtrail. And then below it, there's a smaller, thinner, shorter streak. They say that it's a contrail. And then the blown up picture shows the larger one with two streaks and the smaller one with just one streak through the sky. But there's no context as to what the altitude of these two planes is, what the sizes of the two planes, what the speed is of the two planes, if they're even in the same sky. This is caused, contrails are created by the exhaust. So one may be a twin engine plane. One may have engines closer together. Could be, if it's a bigger plane, the engines are going to be further apart, would make it look like two streaks instead of one. There's absolutely nothing there. That is proof. It's just to scare you. There's links on here for chemtrail alerts and chemtrails and chemtrail posters, geoengineering chemtrails, global warming and chemtrails, the chemicals that are in it, supposedly toxic chemical list from the U.S. Navy. The Navy is mostly in the water. I don't know why they would be involved in chemtrails. California counties reporting chemtrails and then states reporting chemtrails. So I looked at the Pennsylvania page. It's just more of the same. There's no actual reports here. Just, we need your help to getting reports, but there's no actual reports here. The other thing I saw was on this website is a chemtrail survival list, which is basically a shopping cart for you to buy things like seeds and herbal medicines and things like that to combat. It's a store. It's a means to make money. The main page of Stop Spraying California is more of the same. Numbers to call. Including the EPA, the FAA, California Air Board, Ventura County Environmental Health Division. I'm sure they love getting these calls. The LA Times, military phone numbers to call. Chemical spray forecast. This looks like it hasn't been updated in quite a while. I'm not surprised. 2010. So maybe they gave up. Animal and plant life die-offs, 10 years of chemtrail spraying. Pictures of, what look like clouds. Let's look at the camera here. Let's look at our chemtrail cam. What we got? Nothing. It's getting a little hazy out there. You can kind of see down in here. Like, where's there? Go right here. Oh, there. There's a little lag in that. Right in here. That could also be because of the way the sun's hitting the window. It's a beautiful day out. I should be outside, not recording. But again, this is just a list of things to scare the crap out of you so that they can sell you some seeds. But I'll leave those links in there. I also looked at the Wikipedia page on it. And of course, it gives some information. And you got to take Wikipedia with a grain of salt. But I'm not seeing anything in any of these pages or anybody I've talked to. I've known a few people who die hard believe in chemtrails. Nobody can give any real proof, any real evidence. No books to go read, no websites that have actual proof or studies, nothing. So I've got to kind of look at this as it's crazy. And here's why. First of all, if it's the government trying to kill us off, well, let's say it's for geoengineering. So if the government is trying to geoengineer, that is a logical stepping stone, I guess, for this, because geoengineering is something that's being looked into to help combat global warming. But I mean, look at that sky in that camera right there. It's blue. That's not reflecting any sunlight. So if this is a project that's been going on for 25 years, we should see significantly more cloud cover than we're seeing. And it's just not happening. So I'm going to discount that. Is geoengineering a thing? Are they looking into it? Yes. Is that what's going on here? I don't think so. Mind control, again, there's so many other ways that your mind is being controlled through advertising, your cell phone, the news, right? They don't need to put this crap in planes and drop it on your head. You are just consuming mind control all the time, because that's what advertising is. It is mind control. So, and then to population control to kill us off, the government makes money. Governments make money off of their citizens through things like taxes. So if they kill you off, you can't pay taxes. So that makes 0 sense. No sense. And again, if they wanted to kill people off, we've got fast food for that. Don't need to drop chemicals on you from a plane. So none of those points make any sense to me. None of them make any sense. And then you got to look at how big this conspiracy would have to be. I did a quick Google search, and what was the number? 39,200. 39,200 is the amount of pilots and aircraft engineers that would have to be in on this. Right? That's just a list. That's just the number as of 2010. So it's probably a little bit higher. Right? Was it 2010? As of 2020. Aircraft pilots and flight engineers, 39,200. That's a lot of people. Have you ever watched a TV show where they got like 100 employees and they can't keep like the secret plot twist under wraps? You mean to tell me now we're just talking pilots and flight engineers? 39,000 of them? And if this has been going on for 25 years, you got to take into account any flight crew, ground crew, anything like that. They would have to be in on this. Manufacturers. I think a lot of times the contrails get confused with crop dusting. That's actually a mist that's being sprayed out on the crops for pesticides, right? Or you see stunt planes, and they've got like a smoke canister on them that blows a colored smoke out, so it looks neat. So you can see where the plane is. It's easy to catch with your eye, and it looks nice, right? That's not what's happening with contrails, though. A smoke stream is exactly that. It's a canister that's billowing out a colored smoke so that you can spot the plane. But that's not what's happening at 30,000 to 40,000 feet. I think people get confused at that. They think it's the same thing, and it's not. But the size of the conspiracy would have to be huge. And there's just so many people that have to be involved that at this point, someone would have come out. There'd be a whistleblower. Someone would have leaked information. There would be specific, credible evidence that this was going on. You can't keep a secret that big for 25 years. It's just not going to happen. Not in this day and age, especially not now with the internet, and things can be leaked anonymously, right? I guess you can kind of anonymously leak things, but there's nothing. There's been no head of an airline, who's passed away, and on his deathbed, he's whispered to a reporter, "It's all true. Chemtrails are true. We're all doomed." It's not happened. So I gotta say this one is kind of BS. Unless someone can look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if someone on any of these that I cover, if you can come to me with absolute proof, I'm still waiting on proof from the flat earth theory, right? so many people contact me like, oh, you don't understand. You're misreporting and you're like everybody else. I'm giving you the information I'm finding online, just like you're giving people information that you're finding online. If you can give me other information about any of these conspiracy theories, this one included, that changes my mind, send it. I will do an episode just on that. If you change my mind, I will do an episode on it stating why I believe that I believe differently now. But you got to give me real concrete proof. You can't just say, well, someone told me. There's people. They. That's not evidence. That's conjecture. I need to know how you're getting these these contrail samples. If you're just taking an air sample from ground level, that could be coming from cars, trucks, trains, factories, landfills, people burning garbage in their backyard. That air has been contaminated. It just has. Like, I'm not saying that there's nothing bad in our air, because there clearly is. I'm just saying it's not chemtrails. You got to show me some really good hard evidence that it's chemtrails. I don't even know where else to go in this one. This one just holds in no water for me. So let's see. I'm at 20, almost 24 minutes right now recording. It goes by faster after you've done it once, I guess. And I've been keeping an eye on that camera and looking out the window. And aside from some clouds off on the horizon, because we do have weather moving in, I haven't seen a single contrail. Now, that's a pretty small wedge of the sky right there that I'm showing you. But the Northeast, like if you look up in your sky, you know how much air traffic you have. Now, I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania. We are, air traffic-wise, really close to New York City, Philadelphia, Boston, Newark. Really not that far from D.C. and Baltimore, Pittsburgh. We got, cities like Binghamton not far away, Syracuse, Albany. You got AVI, the Avoca Airport. I see Allentown, which isn't far away, Lehigh Valley. We are surrounded by airports, and there's air traffic over this place all the time. If you've ever watched any of my hiking videos in this area, you can always hear planes flying over. So there's planes that go over here all the time. I haven't seen a single contrail today because the weather is not good for contrails. Doesn't mean they're not spraying chemtrails. Well, actually, they're not spraying chemtrails, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening. You just can't see it when the weather conditions are right. I did see on a California page a picture that showed like chemtrails in the background, people wearing masks, and it said America needs to wake up. I do agree that America needs to wake up, but it's not about chemtrails. You need to wake up and start doing your own research, because this is that team sports mentality kind of thing where you buy into an idea and you lose all ability to logically think about it or do your own research. As soon as you believe, it's all confirmation bias. You will find something that you will use as evidence to bolster your belief, to make you believe that you are right, because that's your team now. You're now chemtrail person, or flat earth person, or fake moon landing person, or any of these. Do your own research, not just on whatever conspiracy theory you happen to fall in with. Like, that's fine that you believe that you want to see if there's anything to it. That's absolutely fine. But don't just research the sites that are saying that you're right. Research the sites that are saying that you're wrong, because you might learn something. You might learn nothing, but you could learn something. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'm trying to keep this one shorter because I know last week's was like almost an hour. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There was an old PBS show. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I think it was called Stargazer with Jack Horkheimer. It was like a in-between shows kind of filler. And it was like an astronomy show. I guess you call it a show, right? It was like 5 or 10 minutes or something like that. And you talk about what was going on. If you go outside and you can see different stars and planets and stuff like that. And the saying he said at the end is very fitting for chemtrails. And he used to say at the end, keep looking up and think more. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I added to think more myself. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll get this edited and up and have a new one for you next week. As long as I can get it uploaded to the website, we'll be good. So enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you in the next episode.